The long-awaited Deadpool and Wolverine having the biggest opening weekend for an R-rated movie with $438 million at the worldwide box office. Possibly the biggest movie event of the year. Did it live up to the hype? Let's talk about it. What the duck is up, everyone? Thanks for joining us for another episode. I'm Blake, as always with me, my co-host Garrett.
Hey, who's this Garrett?
Oh shit, you're right. Sorry, Mr. Poole. I can't see your facial expressions right now, so I don't know what's going on behind that mask.
Hey, everybody. Sorry. Yeah, this isn't my movie accurate mask. It's not going to show all the facial expressions, unfortunately.
We found these at Hot Topic actually a couple of weeks ago.
Pretty cool. And I think they're already sold out.
Yeah, they did sell out, at least at the store. I don't know if you can get them online, but
no idea.
It was a good thing we got them.
All right, yeah, I'm back to being Garrett. Fuck that.
Okay. As you can probably tell, we're going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine today. We'll be doing some spoiler-free talk for a little bit and then jump into the spoilers later in the episode. Because, I mean, who hasn't seen this movie already? But, hey, it's hard. I understand it's hard to get out there and see a movie right away these days. So we'll talk spoiler-free for a little bit, then dive into the spoiler talk because there's a lot to talk about for sure. All right, well, before we kick off this review, any ugly ducklings this week? Why don't we do a Marvel ugly duckling?
A Marvel ugly
duckling.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go the original Fantastic Four movie.
The original Fantastic Four.
The original Fantastic Four, bro. I loved that shit growing up, and it did bring about a really cool sequel with
Silver Surfer.
With Silver Surfer. I loved that version of Silver Surfer.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna go Fantastic Four. Especially compared to
the new one,
the newer one where we saw what a train wreck it could be.
Yeah,
it made me love that movie a whole lot more. And
right.
Honestly, I just have so much fun watching Chris Evans be Johnny Storm. So
yeah, he's great as Johnny Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel ugly duckling for me. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a great movie. Let's go Ghost Rider. You know, it isn't the best. I'll admit that. Not everyone is a Nick Cage guy, so
no,
I see why they wouldn't be the most attracted to that movie with his zany performances. But there are some very cool shots and some great CGI in that movie, especially the shot of
his first transformation.
Well, that and the shot of them riding to San Vaganza on his motorcycle in the desert.
Yeah,
and what's his name? Sam. What's that actor's name?
Oh,
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. That's it. Yeah,
he's on his horse or riding through the desert. That's a very cool shot, and it's just a good time. It's a good time.
I love Sam Elliott's voice.
Yeah, I have a good time with Ghost Rider.
Scratches your brain the right way.
Let's get into it. Deadpool and Wolverine, easily the biggest movie event of the year, maybe of the last few years. I don't know. Barbenheimer was pretty big.
It was big.
It was. But Deadpool and Wolverine, you really needed to know marketing outside of just the name alone for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was going to be there. Opening up to $438 million worldwide opening weekend, which is the biggest opening weekend for a rated R film.
Doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Not at all. Right now, 78% for the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and 97% for audience. Audiences are clearly loving this movie. 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb, which that's really high on IMDb, actually.
Yeah, no, it's a good IMDb score for sure.
And an average score of 3.7 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
You know, it's interesting. I've noticed the IMDb rating a lot of the times is better than the critic score from Rotten Tomatoes, which I find weird.
Well, and the rating system is different. That's probably why, too.
Yeah.
But here we go. First Deadpool movie from Disney since acquiring 20th Century's Fox and all those Marvel characters.
Well, only one.
Well, the only one so far, but I'm saying now they can
they can go all out with it. Honestly, it makes me wonder about the future of Deadpool and what role he's gonna play.
Yeah,
because I feel like you can just kind of throw him in anything.
Because even after this movie, I have no idea what they're gonna do with him.
Like they have like a very nice completed trilogy right now. And I honestly just kind of see them like sticking him in like random parts of the MCU. Like you're in the middle of a movie and just like you're just gonna get like a Deadpool cameo,
which I feel like would be very Deadpool-ish. Yeah. All right. Out of 10, what are we rating this movie?
I am going to go 8.8. I think I'm going to stick with that.
Stick with 8.8. I'm going 7 out of 10 for now.
That's way too low in my opinion.
It's not that low. It's a good movie, man.
Too low to me.
7 out of 10 is a good movie with some flaws, but had a great time. I do want to go see it again because in our theater, they did have to stop the film halfway.
Not halfway. I'd say more towards the end.
Well, in a very important scene.
Yeah. It was an important scene.
And they had to stop it during like the third act.
Bro, some guy got absolutely blasted and could barely walk straight.
He had to be escorted out of the auditorium.
Yeah, and the guy sitting next to us, I honestly, bro, I knew the guys sitting next to us were like freaking immature jokesters trying to be funny because, the guy gets up to walk out of the theater and they're like, dude, you're not Wolverine. And honestly, it was a pretty funny response. He's like, your mom's not Wolverine. And then he walked out and I was like, what?
He stumbled out.
He didn't walk. He stumbled, bro.
Oh my God. So then they had to rewind it. They not had to, but they rewinded it like 10 minutes.
They went way too far. We had to rewatch a whole fight scene.
Yeah. So I do want to go see it again because we also had our tickets to see it in IMAX here in Orlando, but then we found out we were going to San Diego Comic-Con like 2 weeks beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to buy tickets last minute in San Diego. They didn't have any seats left for IMAX, so we settled for standard. And I feel like the speakers were kind of weak in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I couldn't feel the music or the needle drops like in my bones, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the opening scene.
Yeah, dude, that opening scene was beautiful.
But yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. And honestly, this movie is definitely more divisive than I thought it would be. I know you're not on Twitter as much as I am or social media in general.
Nope.
But it is very divisive. Like, it has great scores right now, but in the social media world, I don't know, a lot of people are shitting on it. Some of our friends really didn't enjoy it.
Really?
In the film talk community. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really mixed right now within like the community.
The fandom.
Yeah, the fandom. Yeah. So, I just found that interesting.
I honestly feel like we have gotten this same kind of reaction out of every Deadpool movie.
Really?
Maybe not so much the first one, but the second one, I feel like.
Maybe, but I feel like even the first and second Deadpool got the same praise across the board. And yeah, the second one isn't as good as the first one, in my opinion. But I've come to learn in the last year that not everyone is on the Deadpool bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone is with Deadpool's humor.
Not with Deadpool's humor, and I feel like a lot of those people just aren't Ryan Reynolds fans in general.
You know what? I think that might be a common denominator because I am seeing a lot of people saying how he just does not have a great filmography.
Yeah. People just don't like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. I can like see their points.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I can admit that Ryan Reynolds' type of humor can get exhausting to a certain point.
Especially it's like the same.
It's very like almost cookie cutter at this point. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, obviously we don't know what he's going to say, but like we can kind of expect, it's like social media or like pop culture bash and sarcasm. Yeah. So it is very expected of what his kind of humor is going to be.
Right. But yeah, not everyone is agreeing on this movie, which I after seeing it, I understand, but I feel like that's happening a lot with any new Marvel film, period. Probably.
Yeah, it's a very split opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely got like social media in general. I feel like you get a lot of split opinions these days. So yeah, directed by Sean Levy, however you say his name.
I think it's Levy.
And then I've heard people say Levy.
What about Levi?
Levi?
Well, I don't know.
It's Levy.
Oh, never mind.
And Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. Something I'm sure no one ever thought of after Logan. Now, we all know that it's not the same Logan.
He didn't even think that.
No, he didn't.
I've seen the interview multiple times where he was like, yeah, we did Logan, and he was like ready to be done with the character. 3 days later, he saw Deadpool and was like, shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you mean by the time he was done filming Logan?
By the time he was done with, with Logan, and he knew that was going to be like the send, or no, I think it was like,
Maybe Deadpool
even 3
2.
days after it was released. I don't know, but
because Logan came out in 2017, Deadpool came out in 2016,
yeah,
and then Deadpool 2 came out in
okay,
2018.
then probably done filming with Logan.
Okay.
So yeah, he said he was done with Logan. He was like, this is gonna be the send off of the character. I'm done. I'm retiring from Wolverine. And then 3 days later, he said he saw Deadpool and was like, shit.
That's something he wanted to do.
Yes, because that team up would have been perfect. And obviously him and Ryan Reynolds are good friends, so they're going to have chemistry right off the bat.
Which, yeah, they had great chemistry in this movie. So the general plot of this movie, a listless Wade Wilson toils away in civilian life with his days as the morally flexible mercenary Deadpool behind him. But when his homeworld faces an existential threat, Wade must reluctantly suit up again with an even more reluctant Wolverine. So right off the bat, what were your likes of this movie?
What were my likes? Obviously the humor. I'm a fan of Deadpool humor. Obviously it does feel a little reused.
Yeah.
At certain points, they keep kind of reusing the same gags. So I do see how people find it tiring, but me personally, I think it's hilarious.
Okay.
Hugh Jackman's performance as Wolverine, amazing as always. I like that we did have some more emotional moments in here from him. Like, honestly, as far as that like serious acting goes, I feel like that mainly came from his side.
Right.
Because this version of Wolverine was dealing with like a lot of past trauma and stuff like that. So I'm glad that they touched up on that.
I do think the standout performance is Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in this.
Sorry, but yeah, another like the cameos. Like, come on.
Right.
The cameos went insane. Like, I think this was the cameo movie. And people may have found it overwhelming, but I was just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And there were like a couple of them where you were like, oh shit.
Yeah, we'll dive into like the specific cameos.
Yeah.
And we'll do a ranking too of our favorite cameos. And I think that's where also these movies can get like a little divisive, is because people are like, oh, these are just, Marvel fans that are here for the cameo slop fest as well. But, I've come to learn, like, if you're like a true comic book lover, yeah, you're going to eat those cameos up. Like, how could you not? I mean, there's a lot of that in the comic books themselves.
There was a lot of shots in the movie that were literally ripped off a comic book page.
Right. And I can see that where the divisiveness comes from is with this movie is between like true comic book lovers and
regular film goers.
Like, not even regular film goers, but just, I don't know, people.
Your average Joe walking in the theater?
No, people
what do you
who
mean?
are just kind of tired of like the Marvel cameo slop fest.
Yeah.
And the
multiverse. I was going to say the multiverse in general is, I think, where people are getting really exhausted of it, because there have been so many multiverse movies, honestly, ever since Into the Spider-Verse, I feel like kind of kicked off that entire thing.
Well, and now there's just, when you introduce a multiverse, a lot comes with it for sure, between the amount of characters, the amount of different storylines.
It gets sloppier too, though. Like, things feel like they have less of an impact, because it's like, oh, let's just get a different Wolverine from another universe, get a different Deadpool, different this, different that. So I can see where people get annoyed with the multiverse and its excessive use. It just seems like a very quick solution to everything.
Yeah. And
it's like, oh, wait, that doesn't make sense because of this. Multiverse, bro. Doesn't matter.
And you could just keep doing project after project after project. It just never ends.
I mean, I
think
kind
of dilute it to an extent.
Yes. But I think it would work better if we would stop having movies where different universes were colliding, and it's like, okay, so we have like, because I mean, that's kind of what we had before. We had like our X-Men Fox universe, and we were cool with that. Like, we knew that was totally separate from the MCU, nothing combined or anything like that. So it's like we stuck within that realm. And I feel like if we got back to that, it would just like,
where if we just
it would force better storytelling, because you can't just be like multiverse solution.
Right. So you're saying that we keep, certain groups within Marvel and their own universe, like have the Fantastic Four be their own universe, X-Men be on their own universe, Avengers. But then people are going to want to see those team ups.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. X-Men, Fantastic Four, Avengers, like those groups did exist within the same universe. They just didn't in our cinema universe because of rights and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So I feel like there is a world where they could all exist together in the same world, but it was, they started separate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to do that, to bring them together now.
Yeah. And then if you do bring them together again, that's just so many characters. And if if this is happening in this and that side of the world, where are these people? What are they doing? Why aren't they helping out? I don't know. It just, little plot holes here and there.
Yes. And, we have, if we did any kind of cameos with like the original Fantastic Four or something like that, and you have them in New York, they're going to be like, where the fuck was Spider-Man that whole time? You're telling me Spider-Man didn't hear about this? So it's just that kind of stuff.
Other likes of this movie besides Hugh Jackman and what else did you say?
The comedy.
Oh, the comedy. I thought the action sequences were good.
Action sequences were good.
I really enjoyed the fight between Deadpool and Wolverine because we were talking about it. Yeah, there's a few of them. I don't know which one. I think I like the first one the best. I think the second one's funnier.
The second one's way funnier.
But I like the first one better. And like we were talking about earlier in the week, how it's just so funny because these are two characters who have a healing factor. So they're just going at it till they're exhausted.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
But I love the brutality that we saw in this. It's like, how do you have two characters, one wielding swords and guns, the other one wielding, knives for attached to his freaking hands.
Yeah.
And there not be like blood and, massive cuts. And like, it's just unrealistic to have a fight with these kind of characters without having that gruesomeness.
Costume design, I thought was great too.
Oh, costume design was peak.
Yeah. Deadpool, loved the vibrant red for his suit.
I loved the vibrant red.
Loved Wolverine's suit.
And it's crazy too, because I loved his original suit. Like I genuinely thought they could not make it better. And that's not even to say that this new one is better. I think they both have their respective qualities that make them really good suits.
I think the one from Deadpool 1 and 2 feel like a very
more real.
Yeah, more real one.
Yeah.
And like this is like your MCU one. Like he was in the TVA. He got it from the TVA.
Yeah.
Like, this is a fucking Marvel suit. It's gonna be top notch.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't really matter where it came from because we knew it was being sent down from from fucking Marvel headquarters. Like, all right, this is the suit right here. Wolverine's suit was fantastic.
20 years, man.
20 years, man. Looked great with and without the sleeves.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, he was fucking ripped.
I didn't
think he got that big. I know he was working out again, but Jesus.
The man stays in shape for this role.
Oh my God.
I will say the only thing that I wish was different about Wolverine, about his suit, was when the sleeves got torn away, like the little arm pads. Like why'd you get rid of those?
I've seen people on Twitter talk about that too.
Yeah, I was like,
I didn't really care.
I mean, as I watched the movie, I cared less and less.
Yeah,
but
I'm like, it looks the same.
When I first saw it, I was like, but it looks so good. Like, keep them on. Like, get rid of the sleeve, but they look so good.
I didn't really care.
I did like the villain. Like
Cassandra Nova.
Yes, as much as I didn't love the writing for like her motivation or whatever. I did like the character herself.
I think that's one thing in general is that I wasn't the biggest fan of. One of my dislikes is just like the story in general.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking about how Deadpool usually in general doesn't have like the strongest stories because he is a fourth wall breaking jokester.
And I think that's why I love the first one the most. That one has like the strongest story to me.
I think so. Well,
it's very simple. It's literally just revenge and a love story.
Well, I just rewatched the second one, and even the second one has like a pretty.
See, but I feel like the reason I may not like the second one as much is because we keep getting like this whole Terminator story. I feel like it's been used so many times, traveling back in time to, stop somebody before they come too evil or something like that.
But and I will say they do like take a lot of jabs at that themselves, which
agree.
Makes it funny.
Yes, and I feel like with every Deadpool movie where they can even see the weakness in their own writing and and how much stuff they have that's been reused. Right. They poke fun at themselves, which is why it works.
Like the one line when Cable said he only has 2 jumps and he's got 1 left, and Deadpool was like, that's just lazy writing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they take jabs at it themselves, and there's a lot of satire within the superhero genre as I was rewatching Deadpool 2, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty funny, actually. Like, they're definitely doing it on purpose. But yeah, story-wise, I didn't feel the biggest like emotional connection to it. CGI wasn't that great at times as well.
Yeah, getting to the dislikes for sure. The CGI is something that stuck out.
Which we've never understood why in a $200 million movie.
Time, I guess.
I think it's time because they literally stopped. They wrapped up filming for this movie last year, and I'm not sure when like they officially wrapped because they had to stop shooting for a while once the writer strike happened. Then the actor strike happened on top of that. So they stopped filming for like 3 months. So I don't think they finished up filming until like November.
Yeah.
So that's not like the biggest amount of time for visual effects team.
No, it's not. I genuinely think that is like the biggest factor because yeah, like how do you have these budgets and then still like have parts where the CGI is like subpar?
Yeah.
Like it looked like very fake. I noticed it a lot in Wolverine's movements.
But is it a Deadpool thing? Because as I was rewatching Deadpool 2, it's the same shit.
I agree. Now that you mention it.
Right.
No, I agree.
So like, is it a Deadpool thing where it's like they do it on purpose?
Maybe.
I don't know. I was thinking
give
about
you
that.
like a little bit more of that supernatural ability type of thing. But I don't know. Sometimes with Wolverine, it just looked like a little goofy.
Right. No, yeah, I agree. Oh, another part of this movie that we knew was going to bring a lot of attention to the internet was the song choices. The whole soundtrack was released before this movie even came out. And even Madonna's Like a Prayer you heard in the trailer. And while I did enjoy a lot of the needle drops, there was definitely a decent amount where I'm just like, I don't know. I couldn't vibe with them. I wasn't feeling it in my bones.
See, you and your music, man. Like
the music,
I didn't have a problem with it.
The music for me is all like a gut instinct.
I thought the music they picked was pretty fitting.
Easily the 2 best are Bye 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 by NSYNC. That opening scene was fantastic.
Yeah.
That fit perfectly. and yeah, Madonna's Like a Prayer. I thought those were the 2 best song choices and the 2 that hit the most. But yeah, there was some in there where I wasn't feeling it. So I do want to go see it again in IMAX before I can give like my solidified rating.
Yeah. No, I definitely need to see it again as well.
But all right, I'm done talking about spoiler free shit because it's so hard to
let's just talk about this shit.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Spoiler free overall, saying it's a very enjoyable movie, a very fun movie. If you are a comic book fan, we do think you will have a great time with this movie. But I can see the side where people don't like this movie as well. And I think that mainly is from the messy narrative. So spoiler talk. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about the opening scene.
Okay.
So opening scene, we are at the gravesite of Logan from the movie Logan. And
I thought it was hilarious how he was like, you think, what part of healing factor don't you understand? Like, I thought he was literally about to I thought he was about to dig him up and find like
an alive Logan.
An alive, like barely alive Logan who is like, just damn near death.
Oh my.
And that was not the case.
No, because I mean, if you've seen Logan.
No, I know, Blake.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, the man is fucking poisoned as hell. Like, he's done.
Yeah, nah, he's done.
Yeah. So he digs up a adamantium skeleton of Logan. And what did he say? He was like, "You're wondering how we're gonna do this without." You set the fucking line. You're probably wondering how we're gonna do this without mocking Logan or something.
How we're gonna do this without without basically like desecrating the death of Logan or disrespecting it. And he's like, "We're not."
And he
literally desecrates the grave.
Yeah, and he begins to use Logan's adamantium bones as weapons to fight the TVA. All while the opening title credits are happening, playing behind the song "Bye Bye Bye" by NSYNC.
and like taking breaks here and there to show him doing the exact dance routine from NSYNC.
It was a great opening sequence, a lot of fun. Everyone was having a great time laughing at that. And the Ryan Reynolds dance double was posted a TikTok of him doing the dance as well. And I mean, bro, you're hearing this song everywhere right now. It's so funny how like songs from 20, 30, 40 years ago pop up in one big movie event and everyone's just listening to it. Like I bet they're making fucking bank on these residuals right now.
100%. Dude, honestly, like literally if you get your song in like a franchise like this, especially one that values like classic songs, like in Stranger Things, we had Running Up That Hill that got brought back up like that, took
she
off
made
on
millions
the charts
in 1 year because of that.
So, just stuff like that. Like if you get it in one big movie, one big show, and it becomes a freaking phenomenon, you're going to make some bank.
Out of all the Marvel opening scenes, was this the best one?
It very well could have been, man.
What other ones would match it?
Peter Quill, Guardians of the Galaxy opening scene.
Yeah.
I loved that one. Again, it's like a dancing scene.
Right. It is. Now, switching up emotionally, you could say the Infinity War opening scene as well.
Yeah.
Totally different when it comes to, the vibe that it's trying to send. But that was a fantastic opening scene for Marvel. You got the X2 White House scene.
Oh, we're talking all Marvel.
All Marvel.
I thought you were talking MCU. I did just rewatch that X2 opening scene, though. It goes hard.
That was a good one.
It was good.
In terms of the opening scenes that we've seen of it with some choreography going along with the music, Guardians, even Guardians 2 is great.
Yeah.
And
Guardians 2 opening is good, too.
Oh, the first Deadpool opening is great as well.
Oh,
of him on the bridge. Yeah. No, that's really good, too.
And also, just like the credits, just call me Angel. And everything's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good too.
Oh, I don't know. Do I like that one better than Bye Bye Bye?
I don't know.
Because
actually, maybe.
I feel like that too, with it being so new of us getting a comic book movie.
Yeah. No,
with the fourth wall breaking and everything.
That was so fresh.
And that was the first rated R Marvel movie too. So everything was just so new and fresh, and that opening sequence was perfect.
It was really good.
Deadpool opening sequence usually are pretty well done.
I will say the humor definitely hit a lot harder in that first one.
In the first movie.
Yeah, because it was just brand new.
It was. So let's talk about the Wolverine variants as well, because after this opening sequence, Wade Wilson, in order for him to save his universe, has to he wants to find a Wolverine variant to replace the one that passed in Logan.
Do you want to just talk about all the cameos in general?
Oh yeah, I mean we're going to, but let's
get into these cameos. The Wolverine variants.
Let's talk about the Wolverine variants first.
Absolutely hilarious, showing the comic accurate short king Hugh Jackman. That shit was hilarious, because that has constantly been a criticism of Hugh Jackman's casting as this character, who is famously super short.
I think everyone needed to see that too, to realize how ridiculous that would have looked.
They made him shorter than he actually is. No, they did. Like there's no way he was breaking 5 foot. I think he's like at least 5'3" in the comics, and he looked like he was like 4'10", 4'11".
I think you're underestimating how short 5'3" is.
I don't think I am.
I think you are.
I don't think I am.
I think you are, especially someone of like placing someone of Hugh Jackman's stature on a 5'3" person. I think you're underestimating, but people needed to see that to realize, okay, you know what? Maybe they did make the right choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got the adamantium dead Logan Wolverine, which we already talked about.
Uncanny X-Men, him on the cross.
X-Men, yep.
That was more just like, here it is. Like there wasn't really anything happening there.
Yeah, there was no explanation there.
X-Men Apocalypse. We saw that version of Wolverine. That looked cool. Him with the crazy hair.
Yeah.
I love how comic accurate every single one of these variants was, though.
Well, and that's what I feel like a lot of the newer Marvel movies have done well in terms of like being comic accurate with stuff.
Yeah.
And back in like 2000s, superhero movies were just kind of new to everyone in general. So they were trying to be more realistic with it to get the general audience to go along with it. And over these last, few years, you could definitely see like how more comic accurate these movies are getting, which again is why I think it's causing more divisiveness between fans.
I think they're getting a lot better though at creating comic book accurate suits that feel real.
Yeah. I agree.
The classic brown suit Wolverine. Yes. I loved that we got to see that. Yeah. I thought that looked so... I loved that suit. Yeah, I thought it looked so good.
The John Byrne Wolverine, the brown and yellow. And then... It did look damn good, that suit.
Yeah, and then the Hulk cameo in the claws. Oh my God, bro. That was awesome.
People kind of knew that was going to have to happen.
It had to. Like, how do you have so many Wolverine movies? And he is known for being like ops with the Hulk.
Well, wasn't that his introduction?
Yes.
That was his first introduction, was fighting the Hulk, was it not?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Patch, Logan from Earth 616.
Old Man Logan, forgot about him. Logan. That's like real Old Man Logan. They were kind of doing that with the Logan movie, but that was like legit Old Man Logan.
Yes.
And then last but not least, what?
Last but not least, before they get to the final Wolverine that we run into,
the Cavalrine.
The
Cavalrine. I loved it so much.
Henry Cavill as Wolverine, which was a fan casting at one point.
Dude, he did the voice so good.
And he did his little arm reload.
The arm reload from Mission Impossible, yeah bro.
Now it's just become like a Henry Cavill thing.
It is a Henry Cavill thing for sure.
Did you know when you saw the shoulder and the tricep, did you know it was going to be him?
I didn't know quite yet.
Okay.
But when he started saying, you kind of look like, when he started saying that, I was like inching towards it. I was like, that's not Hugh Jackman.
No. Because he's got a very distinctive shoulder and like lat muscle.
Yes.
He's got huge lats all the time. So
he's so jacked.
I bet so many people were happy to see that.
I loved it. And then, we finally make it to our main version of Wolverine for this movie.
Which they say is the worst Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Let his universe down, went on a killing spree after he found his X-Men dead, resorted to alcoholism. And so in terms of like paying respect of, we're not going to touch the character.
Logan that we knew.
The Logan that we knew. And we're going to give you the worst Wolverine, like the total opposite, because one thing that was also introduced in this movie was anchor beings.
Mm-hmm.
And when that anchor being passes, then their universe starts to collapse over time.
I will say, I think that explanation was very needed for the story to work. And I liked how they did it.
I've seen people be a fan of it and others like, I don't know, not so much a fan. It can lead down a slippery slope, I think.
I was just about to say that because, it's like, okay, so say somebody dies in this universe.
Right.
And so now the whole universe is just going to die. Like,
right.
And, people can't live forever. I mean, Wolverine lives for a long time, but say you had an anchor being who was just like a mere mortal and they die.
Yeah.
But as long as it was supposed to happen, that's okay. I can see where people like try to get logical with it, and they're like, "This isn't making sense."
See, I feel like, and that's the thing is, I feel like it's very hard to get logical with multiverse because it's just
it's the multiverse.
Like so much you could throw in there.
Mm-hmm. But have you seen the theory that our Wolverine that we see in this movie is actually the Wolverine from X-Men Origins?
No.
Yeah. So when they were like going through his past, when Cassandra was going through his mind, we saw with the only flashbacks that we saw in his life were from X-Men Origins.
Why do I not remember this?
I don't fully remember it either. This is just something I saw online, and they were claiming that all the flashbacks were from X-Men Origins. So it's like separating that Wolverine from the one that we know and love, just because that movie is so separate from every other movie that we've ever gotten with Wolverine. So it's like, it makes sense that this is the worst one, that he was in X-Men Origins. He was with this different version of Deadpool.
Basically trying to separate that Wolverine from every other Wolverine, every other X-Men movie that we've gotten.
Just establish that this is the bad Wolverine and this was X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh my God.
Because Stryker is different. There's a lot of characters that are different in that movie.
Yes.
It's a different version of Sabretooth.
Yes.
They're all different.
I do like Origins Sabretooth better.
No, I do too.
I think I just like,
I like Liev Schreiber.
Liev Schreiber, yeah.
He's
a great
so
actor. So
yeah.
But and it's funny too, because when I first saw that movie and I was young, I was like, who the fuck is this Sabretooth? Like in this, I was so confused when I was young.
Nah, his version was great though.
I do like Lee Schreiber, but that is funny and would make sense why that would be the worst Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, turns out TVA homeboy, what's his name?
Paradox.
Mr. Paradox is also an antagonist in this movie, which again, like I think it's the antagonist that I just really didn't care for in this movie with Cassandra Nova. And I did find it interesting that Cassandra Nova was the twin of
Professor Xavier.
Charles Xavier. Found that very interesting. But yeah, like the motivations just weren't there for Mr. Paradox or Cassandra Nova. And they get sent to the void.
Yeah.
So all those
coming back from Loki.
Yeah. And it's funny because he does say that too. He's like, the void from Loki season 1, episode 5.
Yeah.
So again, taking jabs at themselves, which Deadpool does really well. And because, if you hadn't seen Loki, how the fuck would you know what's even going on in this movie?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing too. If you hadn't seen Loki,
a lot of this doesn't make sense.
No.
Like you don't know what the void is. And it's like, dude, we can't have
Goliath.
We can't have 30 minutes of screen time explaining what things are.
Right.
So I can see where that would get frustrating for people, especially if they're not totally caught up on Marvel.
Right.
And, with Marvel releasing so much stuff these days, it's like, how do I pick and choose what's going to be important to watch and what's not? Because I'm not going to lie. Never watched Miss Marvel, but I watched the Marvels just fine. I was getting introduced to those characters for the first time, but I didn't need to watch all of Miss Marvel to know what was going on.
And I feel like it's like that with every, project that comes out these days.
Yeah, but knowing what the TVA is, knowing what the void is, knowing what pruning is, and the difference in how we switched from the sacred timeline to having different branches in the timeline, if there was a show to watch that was going to affect the MCU heavily, it was Loki. Yeah. That is one that you need to watch. Should have been, honestly, that probably should have been a big screen movie for everybody that they put emphasis on to go watch. I'm not saying, I think Loki works really well as a TV series. I like the way that they did it and how they did the storytelling, but I'm just saying people are more likely to go see a movie. When they put it in theaters, it puts emphasis go see this.
Well, here's what they could have done too: is just put emphasis on it. You hop on Disney Plus saying, "Hey, watch this before Deadpool Wolverine."
Yeah,
I don't know. That might give away some stuff though, saying okay, well, we are going to go to the void actually, or I don't know.
Well, no, we knew the TVA was involved.
That's true. We did. But this is where we find that blown up looking 20th Century Fox logo that we saw in the trailers, and everyone's like, where is this logo from? Because a lot of the theories was that Deadpool and Wolverine were just going to be traveling and basically killing off the Fox universe, ending the Fox universe, which that was not the case.
That would have been funny, actually.
That would have been funny as fuck. And that's where the 20th Century Fox logo is in the void. And man, we get our first big cameo when we get to the void. We see Sabretooth come around ready for a fight. That's not the big cameo yet.
No.
And who fucking hops down? Chris Evans. And everyone in their right mind is thinking Captain America. You know what? For off rip though, I was not thinking Captain America. Really? I was not. I just didn't like the way his beard was. I don't know.
No, he looked very different. Yes. He was very visually different.
He didn't look like Cap.
No, he didn't. Also, his demeanor was not Cap.
Yeah, no.
But they were playing his music, I believe.
Cap's music?
I thought really? I heard some of his Captain America score.
This is why I need to go see it in IMAX.
Yes, no, we need to go rewatch it for sure. But I swear they played some Captain America.
It's possible to make you think.
Yes.
And
then obviously we have Deadpool saying,
Captain.
Captain, I'll stand behind you. Yeah. And he's fully expecting Captain America.
Yes, he's like, oh, he's going to say it.
Avengers Assemble. Flame on!
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Fox is Johnny Storm, baby.
Crowd erupted when that happened. I fucking loved it.
I'm so much more happy that it was Johnny Storm and not Captain America.
Yeah. Cap's he's too fresh, man.
Yeah.
And also he had a big send off just like Tony did.
Right.
So it was like,
there wasn't a send off for Human Torch.
No.
And I liked Chris Evans' Human Torch.
He was great.
I did.
Dude, that was back when they were casting him as an asshole and everything. And he did it so well.
Oh my God. So that shit was funny as fuck. Then we get but right before that too, we get a great Deadpool and Wolverine fight. I absolutely love that fight scene. And you see Wolverine act like a Wolverine in this fight scene for the first time.
And like running on all fours.
Yeah.
No, that was definitely a different fight style that we had never seen before from Wolverine. Again, this being a different version of him.
Right.
And like you said earlier, like how he was going on a killing spree. So this might be like a more animalistic version of Wolverine that we hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
So it did give us that opportunity to see a new fighting style.
But yeah, great fight sequence between Deadpool and Wolverine.
Fuck, this is gonna hurt.
And after this sequence, it leads us to Cassandra Nova, who has her own team stationed at this at Scott Lang's
Ant-Man's
deceased
giant corpse. Yeah.
And so this was our introduction to Cassandra Nova. And I did thought that actress gave a great performance.
Yeah, no, for sure.
really liked the performance.
I thought she was very charismatic and like kind of stole every scene she was in.
What's her name? Emma Corrin? Yeah, I thought she was fantastic. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about one before this. Jon Favreau, Happy Hogan.
Oh shit, yeah, kind of forgot about Happy.
I forgot about that.
In this movie full of freaking cameos, it's kind of hard to remember.
It is hard because in that Deadpool, he goes back to 28. Yeah, it goes back to showing us 2018, right before the events of Infinity War, and because he's trying to find purpose.
Yeah, he wanted to be an Avenger.
He wanted to be an Avenger. And Happy's just like shutting him down, like, this isn't for you, bro. And in that scene, we see a lot of little Easter eggs in there, including a picture of Tony Stark and Peter Parker, the picture that we see Tony hold in Endgame when he is doing the dishes and gets water on it.
Yep.
And an Iron Man helmet that we see in Iron Man 2 is blocking Peter Parker. And I think that's also for legality reasons as well. Either because remember in Spider-Man No Way Home, everyone forgets him.
Yeah.
Or B, because then that would technically mean that they would have to pay Sony or whatever because they featured a Spider-Man in the movie.
That, but also maybe they did it because they're confirming they're confirming that that's Tom Holland who was wearing that helmet.
In Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
At the expo?
Yeah. I think that has been confirmed, actually.
It has been confirmed.
Yeah, so
I think there's a few reasons that you could have that helmet there for.
Yeah, but it was literally his helmet by that picture.
Right.
So,
but it was blocking him.
Yeah.
So
I think that was I think that's what that was about.
Yeah. Oh
I pointed that out before they even focused on it.
Yeah, no, you did. And I feel like honestly, because we picked up on that, and then I was seeing a few days later that people were starting to pick up on that. I'm like, oh shit, I thought everyone knew that's why.
I figured everybody would have saw that.
Yeah. Okay, so fast forward, messy narrative on duct takes. So yeah, we get our first interaction with Cassandra Nova, Deadpool, Wolverine, and Chris Evans, Johnny Storm, and this is fucking hilarious.
This was like another callback to. I feel like this is another comedy callback to Deadpool 2, where with the running gag with him and Cable and him calling him racist and he killed Black Tom. And
I was rewatching that. That shit was funny.
Yeah, no, like he just like sticks to his story and he doesn't deviate for a second.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's bullshitting the whole time, but he just he creates it in his own head. Yeah, no, he wasn't. We got that end credit scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, just absolutely running his mouth nonstop, just digging Johnny Storm deeper into the hole.
The Merc with the mouth, typical Deadpool stuff. And this is where we come to the end of Chris Evans, Johnny Storm.
I will say that was a good way to show Cassandra's power right off the bat, because that was pretty terrifying.
Yeah, that even Wade was like, oh shit.
Yeah. You just got his ass killed. We are all grieving. He was like a brother to me. That's what he said to That's what he said about Black Tom.
About Black Tom. Can you turn the music off? You will do no such thing. Not a racist, you moron. And then Deadpool and Logan escape that current situation they're in, and they're off to. Where are they off to? Oh, they're just trying to find a way to get back to the TVA
Yeah,
and
how
to
did
get out of the
they?
void.
Oh yeah, they got on the rocket
Some
boot
rocket
or what? I
booster.
think it was a Sentinel rocket boot.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, and they launched off and they made it to the holdup of all the other cameos we got.
Yeah. Well, not quite yet. Because they have, remember they get
Oh, the car fight.
well, they run into Nice Pool. They run into Nice Pool. And then Dog Pool.
Dog Pool.
Nice Pool gives them his van. And then they're on a little journey together, which I think gives us one of the best scenes in the whole movie between Wolverine and Deadpool, when Deadpool's doing his usual thing, just stirring up some bullshit in the car, getting Wolverine worked up, and then car stops, and Hugh Jackman just gives a great delivery of what he thinks about Deadpool.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, you got nothing to say? Like,
yeah,
Deadpool,
he's always got to come back.
He's always got to come back, and he had nothing to say. And he's like, I'm going to fight you now.
And he laughed it off until he punched him in the face.
Yeah, but that was a great scene.
That car fight was so funny.
That was a funny one. Which leads them to fighting for what, all day, all night?
Literally all night
all
until
day, all
they
night.
are both sleeping out of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm. Someone gets the car, drives them to the hideout. They find them. And man, this is where we get a cameo fuckfest right here.
This shit goes crazy.
This was crazy. So who do we get first?
First was
Don't we get
Elektra? I
Yeah.
believe Elektra was first.
We get Elektra, Jennifer Gardner.
Next, I believe
next we get Blade.
Was it Blade?
It was
Okay.
Blade. We get a little growl.
Yeah. Oh my god, the growl was so good.
The beat drop was sick for that scene as well.
Yes.
We get the growl. I think that was the most shocking cameo of this whole movie was Blade.
That one was awesome.
Oh my god. Especially because of all the history between Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, and he was in Blade Trinity.
Yeah. And not to mention just like Wesley Snipes' vocalization about, you know, them fucking up their current Blade situation at Marvel.
Yeah.
And how, you know, he only wants one blade.
Dude, that shit was shocking.
Oh my god. I think that was by far the biggest cameo. And then
Channing Tatum.
after that, Channing Tatum's Gambit.
Another huge fan casting. People have been wanting to get him in the Gambit suit for a while.
He had been attached to that character for years, like almost 20 years. Because he was going to appear in X-Men Origins as Gambit, but then he had scheduling conflict. I think it was for G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they ended up having to cast someone else.
They got John Carter.
Yeah. And they were going to do a movie within the Fox X-Men universe, and then that just never saw the day of light. Light of day.
And then last but not least, Daphne Keane, aka X-23.
But we knew she was going to be in the movie from the goddamn trailers.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No,
did you?
I didn't know that.
He didn't know that.
Nope. This is why I don't watch trailers, bro.
Yes. And could you imagine?
Fuck trailers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, could you imagine how hard that would have hit if we didn't know that? But I did read somewhere that she really wanted to be at the world premiere. So they kind of had to show.
So they showed her because if people saw her there,
Yeah. But either way, I feel like you could still play along with that. Like, no, she's just here.
Yeah, like why? I feel like that wouldn't have, and people don't keep up with the premieres like that.
Yes.
So many people would have still been shocked.
Yeah.
And also, you know, they're reigniting, you know, freaking Logan, and Hugh Jackman's character in the last movie that he was in was with her as his co-star.
I think it definitely would have aroused a conversation, but I don't think people would have everyone would have been like, oh my god, she's in the fucking movie then.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of people would still have been surprised.
She could have easily just been like a guest to go watch it.
Right, yeah. So I really wish they kept that to themselves as well. But man. And then Gambit's accent, bro.
That shit was hilarious. I'm sorry. Who is your dialect coach?
Stupid ass accent. Jesus. But all the suits looked fresh, bro. All the suits looked fresh.
Suits look fresh.
Wesley Snipes looked good. That man, he just got like a aura to him.
He does.
When he's in that Blade outfit.
He does.
Yeah.
Dude, that growl. That set the tone right there.
All right. So yeah, once we get this cameo fuckfest, then
are we done with cameos? Is that like it? I mean, like
so.
except for the giant Deadpool group later.
Yeah, the giant Deadpool group. But I think that's definitely the biggest cameos. Plus, you had the Wolverine variants with Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we get this fantastic team up and this whole fight sequence between their new group, and Cassandra Nova's little army. Is it X-Force?
I don't know. I will say one of my favorite bits was when he was talking about Magneto, and he's like, "Magneto's dead." Fuck! Like his immediate reaction, because he knew that was like probably their only hope. And then he's like, "But I'm betting that helmet is somewhere around here." She melted it. Fuck! After she killed him. Fuck!
Damn. Omega level mutant.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, she's fucking Omega level.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. No, because I mean, man, going back and watching the X-Men movies, especially the first class ones, I fucking love Magneto.
Yeah.
X-Men 97. Like, his line deliveries are crazy.
Never again.
Yeah. So yeah, this whole fight sequence too was great. And what I've been loving recently is the respect that Gambit is getting now when it comes to like his fighting abilities, his powers.
Man's a force to be dealt with. Yeah.
His outfit was great in this movie. His hair could have been a little messier. I agree.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way he's in like this apocalyptic land and his hair is that clean. It was too clean.
It was clean.
Give him a little scruff. Ooh. Oh, bro, that, and give him like a 5 o'clock shadow. Ooh, I would have loved to see like a
what
little
about
rough
some little contacts too for his eyes.
Yeah, like a little rough version of Gambit. Ooh, I think that would have went hard.
Yeah, but in terms of like his powers and because a lot of people saw Origin stuff and think this character's a joke.
Yeah.
But recently,
I mean, he got treated like a joke.
Yeah, recently in X-Men 97, he was my favorite character in X-Men 97.
Dude. Took out that gigantic Sentinel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, with Deadpool and Wolverine, I definitely enjoy that his powers are being shown properly now.
Sick. There's only ever going to be one blade.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right.
Stares right at the screen.
That's right. He's like, because what'd he say? What was the line before that about someone playing so many actors?
I think they were talking about the gun, and he was like, got it from Punisher.
Oh,
and he was like, which one? There's like 5.
Yeah.
He's like, there's only one blade. Only ever going to be one blade. And then he just looked right at the camera.
Shit. With the way
the filming's going, it's very possible.
It's very possible. My God.
Or the director. They can't find a fucking director.
I think I read somewhere that they started doing a new director search again, or like.
Is it director or writer? I don't even
fucking know.
I can't keep up with it.
It's insane. Wesley Snipes, your dream may still be possible.
Yeah.
For there only being one Blade.
Maybe they'll just make a sequel with you.
Even though I would love to see Mahershala Ali as Blade.
I think he'd be a good.
I fucking love him as an actor.
He'd be a good Blade.
Yeah, he would.
Bro, his voice is threatening.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I know. And they killed him off way too early in Luke Cage.
Yes, they did, bro. I was like, I don't even want to think about that death. It's so stupid.
So Deadpool and Wolverine need to get back to. They can't be okay. So we find out Deadpool and Wolverine can't be sent back to the TVA, but Cassandra Nova can send them back to
his
Wade's universe.
Yeah.
From the what's it called?
Sling ring.
Sling ring. Yeah. From some strange person. And a lot of people were wondering where they were jumping to when we saw that in one of the trailers.
Yeah.
Everyone thought they were going to be sent back to like the Endgame battle or something.
Bro,
I don't know.
Who knows?
Honestly, I'm sure everyone guessed wrong on that one.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is where we get the huge Deadpool variant fight. It was like Deadpool and Wolverine against 100 Deadpool variants. And I think this is where the bad CGI comes into play.
Yes, the bad CGI was definitely more noticeable here. Yeah. But I think that's just because there was so many of them.
Right. But this is also where we get Wolverine's mask. Mm-hmm. Everyone was waiting for Wolverine to put on that mask. What do you think of the mask?
I thought it looked good. I thought there were times where it looked a little goofy. But I think it still worked.
Okay.
And I think part of that had to do with the CGI. Like, I feel like the CGI on the mask was not the best.
No. Especially when they were jumping out the back of the bus.
Yeah.
And in that slow-mo shot. I was like, it's very noticeable.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we finally got to see it.
Yeah, no, same.
In that aspect. Man, that scene with Nice Pool and Deadpool, when using him as a
shit
body
dying,
shield. Oh
bro.
my god!
I was dying. He's like, I can't move. Yes, you can. I'm paralyzed.
How long does it take for you to regenerate? Regenerate? Yeah, that was funny as fuck.
A Deadpool that doesn't regenerate. How are you even Deadpool? How are you even Deadpool at that point?
I don't know.
No shit, he was so nice. He didn't go through all that torture, and he's not insane from the mutation.
Mm-hmm. We also get Lady Pool in the scene as well.
Blake Lively. Yeah. Blake Lively.
Blake Lively credited as Lady Pool. We never see her face.
No, which I thought they would. Like, she was the leader.
Right.
I figured she would like get there and like pull it off or something, but
how many Marvel fans would actually know who that was though?
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
But she may have just voiced it. I doubt that was even her.
No, I think it was her in the suit.
But if it was her,
she was
I feel
on
like
set.
Oh, okay.
She was
I
on
don't know.
set. Like there was pictures of her on set.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
know. I could have easily seen them just having her do the voice.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, there was one fourth wall break in this movie that I don't think a lot of people caught on to.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So Deadpool and Wolverine were in the car, and Deadpool says to Wolverine how he's let himself go since the divorce. And that's because Hugh Jackman recently had a divorce in real life.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people caught on to that fourth wall break there. And when I heard that, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised they let him do that one. But
I mean, really, I feel like that one was like Hugh's call.
No, it had to have been.
So it's like if he was cool with it.
I feel like Ryan wouldn't have put that in there if he wasn't okay with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But we were even talking with Evan afterwards, and I told y'all that, and you guys were like, "Oh shit, no, I had no idea about that."
I didn't know he got divorced.
So that was I think that was a good fourth wall break.
It was a good one.
Oh, when he told Wolverine, "You're kind of joining the MCU at a low point." That was funny.
The Disney low blows were hilarious.
Yeah.
I can mildly tap the fourth wall too. The proposal. The fuck was that? Is that what you think I do?
So Mr. Paradox builds this machine that he shouldn't have. Everything they're doing is
Time Ripper, whatever.
Ripper, yeah.
I can't remember.
Everything that they're doing in his division of the TVA is not on the books. And Cassandra Nova wants to use it to
She wants to get rid of every timeline and make the Void the only place that exists, and she'll be Queen of the Void, basically.
Right. So I just thought that whole ending scene with them having to, I don't know, just pull the plugs from this machine.
Yeah.
And then neither of them dying. I thought someone was going to die, if I'm going to be real.
Yeah. And honestly, I was confused as to why. I can't remember maybe, but why were the Deadpools trying to stop them?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember why they had to fight them.
I don't know. Because then after they did fight them, it was just kind of disregarded. They were like, they got distracted by
Peter.
By Peter.
Yeah.
That's right. By fucking Peter.
Every universe has a Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's that.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot of moments in this movie where
you're just like, what the fuck?
Where it's like, why did that happen? There was no explanation. Something's happening off screen.
I think it got sloppier as the movie went on.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the ending like wasn't quite finished.
I didn't think the third act was all that great.
No. The first two acts were awesome.
Mm-hmm. No one dies. Hugh Jackman's going to have to do this till he's 90.
Yep.
As he jokes about. I don't know. It was just definitely a very fan service, fun movie.
Yeah. No, I definitely had a lot of fun with it. And yeah, as you start to break down the story, like we said, that's definitely the weakest point of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care. We finally got what we wanted. Deadpool and Wolverine on the screen together. Classic Deadpool humor. Classic Wolverine.
Classic what? Wolverine humor?
Classic Wolverine anger.
Yeah. Yeah, he said fuck so many times in this movie.
He said fuck a lot.
I think he said fucking like every line.
Pretty much.
Which was so, I mean, I know we heard him say it in Logan, but just hearing him saying it in like every sentence in this movie, I was like, Jesus Christ.
I don't think we've ever seen him like take off like that on somebody when he was roasting him in the car.
Well, as far as him as Wolverine?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think we've ever said, never like insult somebody like that.
No, not like that. Usually he just resorts to fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've never really heard him go after someone like that.
And God, he was like saying how it was a sick,
Yes.
yeah, it was like a sick joke that you can't die, but the joke's all on us because we gotta live with you.
Yeah,
that shit was cold,
no,
bro.
that was a great line. I will say, as far as like the writing may not have been the strong point, but that was a fantastic line.
Yeah.
Now that Deadpool and Wolverine is out of the Deadpool movies, where would you place it among that trilogy?
I think I did like it better than the second one. So,
But not better than the first one.
Nah, first one's classic.
I think the first one is the best one.
It's the best. Simple story. Couple of good X-Men characters, Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus.
Yeah.
They were great together. And I loved Deadpool's back and forth between him and Negasonic.
Yeah.
They were really funny. But yeah, it's just like
it was a good love story.
Yeah, good love story, good revenge story. Just simple stuff.
Great song choices in that one. Great action, and like we were saying earlier, it was just something so fresh. First R-rated Marvel movie,
and I thought the chemistry between Francis and Deadpool was really good too. Like they had a really good back and forth.
Yeah, because like not the strongest villain, but the rapport was good between them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just something so fresh for us at the time. Even Deadpool 2, I think, has its strong emotions in there as well with him wanting to do right by Russell.
I didn't really give a shit about Russell though. That was like
not give a shit about him, but I did give a shit about like Deadpool wanting to do the right thing for him.
Yes. It was more like the role that Russell played.
Yeah.
But I didn't really care about Russell himself.
Okay. So we go Deadpool at the top of this trilogy, the first one.
Deadpool Wolverine, and then Deadpool 2.
I think that's a very fair ranking there.
I think Deadpool 2 is the weakest of them. Not to say that it's bad,
but I still enjoyed it upon a rewatch.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It definitely has its weak points for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it's honestly the third acts of these movies that are the weak points.
Yeah, and that's why the third act of the first one is great.
Right.
Like it's a very satisfying conclusion to the movie.
First one's got the best conclusion.
Yeah, which I think is why it's more rewatchable than the rest of these two.
Because even when I rewatched Deadpool 2, enjoyed the first two acts a lot, and then the third act I think is kind of weak.
Yeah.
But so it's really the third acts of these last two Deadpool movies that I think are the weak points of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to rate the cameos of this movie?
Rank the cameos?
Rank the cameos.
Oh my God, if I can even
remember. All right, we'll see.
All. Well, how about I just try and give you like a top five?
Okay. Who is your favorite cameo in this whole movie?
I will say, I think Blade is what I got the most excited for.
I think Blade is my number one cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. I'll put Blade at 1.
That was just something that's the last one I was expecting.
Yeah, no,
the last one
came out of absolutely nowhere. Number 2, I'm going to go Human Torch, Chris Evans. Okay. Number 3, I'll do Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Yeah.
4, dude, I honestly keep going back to Wolverine. I loved Wolverine.
Gotta put Wolverine up at the top of that. Yeah.
So I'll put him at 4, and then 5.
Elektra, X-23. The thing about X-23 is like at least I knew she was going to be in the movie from the trailers. You didn't.
No, I didn't. But also, I feel like she didn't have a huge role to play.
No, not nearly as much as I thought she would.
Yeah. So
let's go Jennifer Garner, Elektra.
Jennifer Garner. I don't even know if I'd put her in there.
Maybe John Byrne Wolverine?
Comic accurate one.
Comic accurate Wolverine.
Tiny Wolverine.
Yeah. Short King Wolverine.
Short King Wolverine. I think that was the funniest. I think that was the funniest.
And something
cameo.
again that people just needed to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I got to put Blade at the top for sure.
For sure. Dude, man. I was so hyped when he walked on screen. I was so hyped.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this review of Deadpool and Wolverine. The movie that we've all been waiting for it feels like years now.
For real.
It's so weird how time
honestly, it's just because people have just been posting and releasing leaks about this movie, and it felt like it should have been here a long time ago, but I feel like we were just so involved in the recording process of this movie, and I'm like, bro, can we just like hold off on all this shit?
Yeah. Oh my God, especially for what's going on with Superman right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
oh my God, everything.
Photo sets. But Deadpool and Wolverine overall was a great time. A lot of Marvel fans are having fun with this movie, and I think a lot of Marvel fans are also admitting like, yeah, it's not the strongest story.
Yeah.
And we've talked about how Deadpool usually doesn't have the strongest stories, but that's okay because it is Deadpool. And
honestly, the fact that he breaks the fourth wall
Right.
like kind of makes up for it.
yeah, the fourth wall breaking, I think, is how you can get away with that.
Yes.
And the cameos just went insane in this movie.
It lessens the blow of a weak story.
Right, yeah. So not the strongest Marvel movie, not the strongest MCU movie. It is an MCU movie now.
It is an MCU.
It is an MCU movie. And where to now from here?
Don't know, bro.
Who knows? I don't know.
Don't know where we'll see Deadpool again.
Yeah,
Or Wolverine if that'll even happen.
Right.
They honestly, they made it kind of seem like this was it.
You think so?
I mean, dude, they were
I don't
literally
know.
playing footage from the original X-Men trilogy and everything
man,
at the
that's
end.
right. Let's talk about that. That was a good send off too.
It was a good send off.
That was nice. It was short,
A lot of
sweet.
behind, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of behind the scenes stuff with the
Mhm.
original cast. It was pretty cool.
That was.
Seeing Ian McKellen and everything.
Yes. That was because even though those X-Men movies aren't the best when it comes to the superhero movies, they do hold a special place in a lot of people's hearts,
Mhm.
like with X-Men characters in general.
Yeah.
I was never one that grew up on the X-Men characters, but I know how popular those characters were. Those comics were.
Yeah.
They're fucking popular.
Dude, that was Marvel.
Yeah.
Avengers
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
C tier.
Right.
It was X-Men and
Mhm.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That was it.
And then Spider-Man and then the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like Avengers was, pretty bottom when it came
Yeah.
to the popularity in that aspect. But yeah. Going back and rewatching those movies, I have been rewatching them just to do an X-Men franchise ranking. And no, I mean, there's some good ones in there, especially with First Class, Days of Future Past.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot of great characters when it comes to X-Men.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think casting is like probably one of the best things that the
Yeah.
X-Men series has gotten correct.
Mm-hmm. And then that final end credit scene of them playing back footage of Chris Evans, Johnny Storm actually talking shit about Cassandra Nova.
That shit was so funny.
That was funny.
He's like, I got receipts now.
Because didn't he say anything? You can quote me too.
Yeah, he was like, you can quote me.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. So yeah, I do really want to watch this one more time in IMAX just to get like a final thoughts about it.
Yeah, a less distracted.
Yeah. Less
viewing.
distracted and really get those IMAX speakers just hitting all my holes. So
Okay, all right.
but yeah, an enjoyable time. Always great to see people going to the theaters, filling up those seats,
Mhm.
pumping up those box office numbers.
I was honestly kind of surprised we were able to get seats that
I
weren't too
kind
bad.
of was too, but there were so many showings.
There was a lot
Standard-
of showings.
Yeah, there was a lot of standard showings. All right, Deadpool and Wolverine, 7 out of 10 for me.
Maybe I'll go 8.5.
8.5.
I might bring it down a
now
little
he's
bit.
going down.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right, 7 out of 10.
8.8 is pretty high, but
That is high.
8.5 for sure.
All right, 7 out of 10, 8.5. Let us know what you thought of Deadpool and Wolverine, and we will see y'all next time on Duck Takes.
Later, guys.